Activation code required. Access granted. Warning. Evacuation sequence activated.
We're back. Welcome to the bunker.
I mean her.
Hey, good evening, blah, blah, blah. Welcome to the S-4 Bunker, coming to you, blah, 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 live here in the Cascade Mountains in Concrete, Washington, blah, blah, blah.
It has been a while since I caught you off guard with the whole
I know.
when you're supposed
If
to
you
start,
haven't
so.
noticed, blah, 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 we are talking about vampires tonight.
Blah, blah, blah.
So, yeah, don't mind me. I'm still trying to get my brain to engage. Just while I just woke up from a nap. Yeah. And it's hot out. It's hot out.
It's hot.
It's hot.
We are sweaty.
It's still 60
Well, that's
degrees
because I'm
here
here.
at 10 o'clock at night.
I'm just so hot.
Well, it's hot.
You guys are such whiners. 2 weeks ago, it's cold.
Oh, wait.
Whoa.
Hold the hell up. You know, I sound like a whiny.
A little bit.
No.
All I asked for
I actually
is
enjoy
a
it.
little bit
My
of a
brain will
break
engage.
into the heat, like a gradual. I thought that
It is.
moving
Wait till
up was good.
wait
This
till-
is like Texas.
wait till it's 100 degrees. Then
Right?
you can bitch.
Wait,
What?
did you say lubing up?
No, warming up. Fool.
I heard lubing.
Oh my god. Okay.
No.
What is Paula doing to you, Rick?
Nothing at all.
Oh.
We're both so broken down. It's just effort just to get into the bed. So
Right.
mostly we just.
Oh, well, whoa. Get
You need
get-
swings.
No.
Whoa!
No.
I don't know.
Let's catch those extra little 2x4s in the ceiling.
Oh no!
Oh, that would
There
be
you go.
that would be fun to explain to the landlord.
Yeah, you can just tell me having a sleeves party.
And really, Nikki, you're going to try and tell us that you were squealing for different reasons now?
Oh man. Okay, so vampires.
Let's kick off the show tonight with going around and what is your favorite vampire movie?
Oh.
Mine's
Bram
blood.
Stoker.
Mine is Blood and Chocolate.
Oh, yes.
Mine's Vampire in Brooklyn.
So Blood and Chocolate.
Wait a minute. I thought Blood and Chocolate was,
It's werewolves. It's werewolves,
Werewolf.
but it's also, if I remember right, there's vampire lineage in that one.
yes, there is.
So,
Does Blade
yes,
count as
Blood
a vampire
Chocolate.
movie?
Yes,
Yes.
it has both vampire and werewolf.
Yep.
Is that
I
yours,
like it.
John?
Yeah, Blade.
Blade?
Okay.
Ooh.
I like
Blade
it.
I've
is
got
really
one.
good.
30 Days of Night. If you haven't seen it, it is
Oh, yeah.
worth the watch.
I was
It's
even
very
thinking about that
intense.
one. That was good.
Seriously, Vampire in Brooklyn.
Nope.
I love the little ghoul guy that just falls apart. Okay.
I forgot about him.
Mine will always be Interview with a Vampire.
The classic.
That's a good
It
one.
is a classic.
Rice Van.
Yeah.
Who hasn't got? See,
Robert.
Lost
Rick,
Lost
Robert.
Boys.
Lost Boys.
Lost
Oh,
Boys.
shit.
Forgot about
Yeah.
Lost Boys.
Lost
a good
Boys.
one.
You forget about that.
Lost Boys be my number 2. Blood and Chocolate. Yeah.
I honestly think Rick is lying to us, though.
What?
I think his
About
favorite.
what?
His favorite is Twilight. He just doesn't want
He
to.
likes the Twilight.
The sparkly vampires.
Look, I'm a vampire and I sparkle.
Now, okay, I does
Oh, sparkly vampires.
I Am Legend
On the
count?
Sparkly Vampires for tonight.
I Am
Just for
Legend's
tonight.
not vampire.
Yeah.
No, like I Am Legend and the Ghosts of Mars. Do those count as vampire movies,
I don't
or are we
think I've
talking?
seen- I haven't seen
those
the
would be
Ghost of Mars,
different
but
beasts.
I Am Legend, they weren't. That was a
They went too
viral.
far.
Yeah, they were more like
They're more like zombie.
zombies, but
Yeah.
they had vampiric qualities about them. So
I wouldn't count them. I
Okay.
wouldn't count that
okay.
as vampiric. So the only thing I'm really going to interject here with, as far as the history of vampires, because I know John probably looked at the exact same videos and shit that I did. But the very first historical documentation of vampires come from the Greek culture. So Lamia was a Libyan queen, and she had kids with Zeus. And Zeus's wife, Hera, was very jealous and
think?
cursed the children of Lamia.
How many times is she gonna be jealous?
Yeah, like
Like this has happened 100 times.
Zeus got around.
Oh yeah.
With animals
yeah,
and humans.
all the Greek gods did. Come on now.
Hades never did. He
No one Hades was in the underworld.
Hades stayed loyal. Loyal.
And actually, no.
Yeah.
To who?
There are some.
What's her name?
Persephone?
Right.
Yeah.
No, he
No,
didn't.
he didn't.
He had children too.
So anyway, Lamia turned into the Lamia Eve.
The bees.
Yeah. And they were the first vampires.
Well,
And they could shapeshift into beautiful women and marry
So
their...
siren.
Huh?
Siren. So I was going to say siren type quality.
No, they
It's
they
a
were
skinwalker.
actually Lamia translates, I believe it's Lamia, into goblin. So they were more goblin.
Oh.
But they could shapeshift into beautiful women, and then they once they got married and got the money and the wealth and whatnot, they would eat their mates. The difference with these and today is these were not the original undead. These were living creatures that were just cursed. So when you talk about the undead, you have to go to the Lycolokas, or remnants of the dead, which were they died and they returned to start life again, and they can be killed by fire.
okay. Now, there is some debate on where the original vampiric title comes from. Like, there's a lot of people that think of Lilith as the original vampire. There's a lot of people that think of Succumbent, which is a ancient
Succubi?
goddess of Egypt,
Oh, okay.
as the original
I got you.
vampire. We're not really sure where the origins of old school vampire came from, but our modern perception of vampire, we have a little bit more.
Real quick before we get to that, the interesting one that I found was Calicomparos. Have you ever heard of
What
them?
the hell?
Yeah.
These were children that were born between Christmas
Oh,
and
yes.
New Year, and they were supposed to turn into vampires after they died. Anyway, John, what you got?
Well, I recently saw this vampire movie called I don't know. They're
John, you gotta talk louder and into the mic, bro.
well, I'm just I think I spelled this wrong.
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu.
Ah, yeah.
It was a really long film. Yeah, but Nosferatu is like he's a vampire from Transylvania. He's a pretty weird dude. But the original movie came from a book that was copyrighted, of course. And it actually has a pretty cool history, the movie. The guy who actually made it got sued and was had to destroy every copy of the movie, but one escaped his grasp and made it to America, so that's why we got it. It's pretty cool. But Nosferatu is a basic vampire. He's bald, has weird long fingernails, and he died from sunlight. Also killed a chick, and I don't know if he's affected by garlic, but yeah, there's a lot of memes of him. It's pretty funny.
I'm trying to remember where the whole can't come out in sunlight.
I think it originated from one book, and it just spiraled.
Right.
Same with the steak in the heart and garlic. Because I know someone made a book of that, and then that just became the defining thing, because why not?
Right.
Everyone just caught on that train.
The garlic idea came from Olive Garden. They didn't want vampires.
So what's interesting is Saint Germain, and we kind of got into an argument about this, last night?
Yeah.
Saint Germain was the first documented vampire of New Orleans.
Okay.
Not the biggest.
Not the biggest.
The first documented.
No.
The biggest
he is not the most well known.
Right. Well, it depends, because there's a huge vampire culture in New Orleans
Does he
today.
have his own ball?
Yes, there is.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have his own ball?
And his own movie franchise.
Probably.
No.
There's people that still see Saint Germain today walking down the street.
Well, does he have a movie franchise?
There's people that still see Elvis working
Yeah.
at fucking 7-Eleven. Come on.
Oh, I know. I saw him yesterday at Walmart, but yeah.
No, you do have to admit, worldwide, New Orleans is Lestat.
Mm-hmm.
He is the most well-known vampire within that area.
Right.
Most well-known modernized vampire within that area.
Thank you.
What do you mean? Explain.
I mean, there had been a crap ton of folklore that came out of there of different people rising from the grave and coming and sucking blood, and that's where actually one of the original settlers came up with when they came over from England and came and landed in New Orleans. There was this story of a man that was actually pretty popular in the little town that they moved into that died, and then there were several deaths afterwards that they blamed on him, and they actually ended up digging him up, staking him, and setting him on fire to make sure that his vampiric remains would not continue to kill the townspeople. So, as far as modern day vampire,
but how well known is he?
Huh?
How well known is he?
Well, and that's what
I said worldwide.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, is that in that time period, he was probably more well known than Lestat was in the area. Worldwide,
Only in the area, because at that point,
because nobody really had internet or ways to exchange the stories or anything.
But worldwide,
yes, it would definitely be Lestat as the modern version of vampire.
And even has been since the 1600s, because he was the first one to make newspapers.
What?
He made newspapers worldwide.
Okay.
The house fire that he describes in the interview with the vampire actually did happen. And it lit half the French Quarter on fire.
Yep.
And he is listed as a creature, not a human being, in that newspaper.
Okay. Doesn't Lestat have a bank account still active today?
Yes.
Yes.
In one of the original New Orleans bank, there has been a bank account under the name Lestat de Lioncourt since 1580s, I believe. So he and it's still active to this day. Nothing has been drawn out of it for over 100 years.
Yeah.
With some interest.
Right?
Holy shit, Rick!
I'm not even kidding about that. I think that's a real thing. I'm almost entirely sure it is.
So I'm trying to remember when they started, because in Europe, if you were suspected or if they killed you as a vampire, they often cut your head off and put it at your feet or between your legs, one of the two. And I mean, there is a grave in Kitzingen, Germany, that literally is enclosed with bars.
Yes,
Yeah.
iron bars.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's what I was. Yes.
And
Because,
has skulls.
and it's not the only grave.
No.
There's a number of graves that are like that.
That's
They
what-
encase them in a cage. They encase
Yeah.
the actual entire.
With
coffin
I
in
wish
a
I would have
cage.
taken pictures of it, because I was
And-
stationed in Kitzingen by the cemetery where this was. It's like, wow.
And sometimes they also just grabbed a wooden stake and shoved it through their heart.
And just left it.
Because that's what many poor people did because they couldn't afford
The
iron
meddling.
cages.
Yeah.
In China, they separated the body and actually moved them to four corners of the area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
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 Now, I
That's a
did
good
do
picture
a
of it.
little bit of research into the garlic thing.
Okay.
Okay, because I wanted to know where
Where the garlic?
where
come
the
from?
garlic came from.
The
And
ground.
huh?
The ground.
Well, duh. But I mean, as far as vampires are concerned, where did the garlic thing come from?
I'm pretty sure
And-
they think it came from the ground too.
Yeah.
Back in the 1700s, there was a plague in England. And they used garlic
Blunt, like I
because
think.
it was a high potent smell
Right.
to cover up the smell of the
Dead
rotting
bodies.
and decay.
Yeah.
So it ended up translating that the smell of garlic was such a strong smell that it would throw off the dead. So if dead were to rise again and become like bloodsuckers and all this, that if you had garlic, it wasn't so much that it killed a vampire, it was that it threw
Repelled.
off the scent of the amount of people in the house.
It repelled
So the
them.
vampire didn't know if there was any living creatures in the house.
It was a vampire repellent.
Yeah. So they used it as a repellent, not as a actual, this is gonna kill a vampire.
Well, it worked in Lost Boys.
Yeah.
I'm still in. I could live without garlic. I'm okay.
I
You're a
love
vampire.
garlic, dude.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't
fan.
mind being a vampire.
Cole's always wanted to be a vampire.
Have you guys ever seen a fat vampire? It's an instant weight loss.
Yeah.
I'm happy with this. I'm good.
Yeah, but you have to like stay in the shade all the time. You can't use garlic. You become bald and
It
have
would make
weird
you
long
all
nails.
skinny and pale.
Yeah.
I'm okay
Yeah,
with
you-
this.
You don't get to be pretty. You
I
don't get to be pretty like in the movies.
Yeah.
I
Even
finally-
to see pretty.
Yeah, but I'd be
Well, at
white.
least once a month you can do an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Then you get privilege.
I'd be white. Exactly. I'd get white privilege. I'd be okay.
Oh my god. That is not the way that works.
Now you can hang around cops free.
No,
Fear.
and I talked to Cole about this earlier because I was looking through all of the mythology and all of the lore on vampires, and I'm like, you know,
There's a lot of it.
Yeah.
I
It totally
haven't
crosses every country.
seen
Yep.
a native vampire. Like, they don't seem to exist in the lore. Like, there's skinwalkers, there's Wendigo,
Right.
there's creatures of the dead, there's these things, but nothing
Nothing
that would be
vampiric.
comparison to a vampire
And I
in native
only
lore.
know of one piece of literature that actually tells us why. Twilight. Twilight. The books do explain why there are no
Native vampires. Why?
Because we're protectors against them. If they bite us, we die. That's it.
Oh.
Yeah, don't get bitten.
Yeah, but am I more part native, or it depends? Like, if you're... Does that mean, like, if you're part native, but more part, like, say, German, would you still become
I
a vampire?
really don't know the rules on this, like, whether we actually have to...
Like, what is the lenience?
Vampire.
Yeah.
Still an idea. I would determine.
Hey, now.
Like, maybe due to the fact that we weren't raised on the reservation, we can't become a werewolf, but I don't know.
I can't have glowing eyes like in Twilight.
Or
Sparkly
maybe
skin.
you become Blade and you can walk in both worlds.
Yeah?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, you're like that hybrid vampire / werewolf thing.
Just can't touch holy water.
So which Blade? So for me, Blade 3 was my favorite.
Ah.
Which out of the Blades is your favorite one?
The first one.
You like the first? The original?
Just because it was the first one I actually saw. And
Okay.
it left an impression that made me wanting more.
Actually, a huge franchise none of us mentioned.
Huh.
Underworld.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
That actually has a vampire-wolf hybrid.
It does.
Yeah. Is that...
That's
It-
actually
it's
one of
pretty
my
weird
favorites too.
Killed Scott Speedman's career up until he got back onto Grey's Anatomy.
Yep.
Friend. I totally forgot about
I
that
have
one.
all the DVDs of that one.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a
Yeah,
disease in the 1700s that people thought were vampire bites. It was tuberculosis. It's really rare nowadays, but back then it was
Not
spreading.
for us.
Yeah. But people always thought it was vampire bites because they leave little holes on your body. Yeah.
Well, we also didn't mention Daybreakers. That was a pretty
Yeah.
solid vampire movie.
Or Queen of the Damned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I consider that just a sequel to Interview, because it is part of that storyline.
Oh, okay.
Or Resident Evil. It has vampires.
Even though they changed who played Lestat,
Yeah.
to me, it's not actually about that. Like, now we've got a new interview with the vampire coming out on AMC Plus, I think, because I think it's going to follow the Mayfair Witches.
Yeah, they were talking about that. And then there's like the old school vampire movies like Salem's Lot and all of those ones
Yep.
that really brought like vampirism into modern culture. And then you always got to think about like Dracula 2000 and the Van Helsing story that goes along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just bring up Dracula 2000. Gerard Butler, right? Playing Dracula?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then you can't not mention Dracula Dead and Loving It.
No.
Brad.
I almost, and
Well, I mean, and then they had all of the like
Oh.
offshoot
Yes,
funny ones,
Buffy.
Yeah.
like Dark
Yep.
Shadows and that kind of crap.
That's actually my all-time.
yeah,
Buffy and Angel.
Right?
That's my all-time favorite.
and there's supposed to be a new Van Helsing coming out that I almost submitted to be the uncle for, but I really didn't want to go to Austria to film.
Why, you'd be welcome.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you'd be welcome there. I have family there.
I know.
You could stay at the vineyard.
But when you don't know a whole lot about the production company and you're just kind of going to Austria on a whim for a month of filming, I might not come
And
back.
depends on when, because of their wet season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they've got a lot. They get flooding, just like a couple of other countries that I can't think of the name of it this second.
But I believe that particular role, I was going to actually get paid $10,000 with lodging and everything included in Austria.
Nice.
Damn.
But no,
But that's
I
a
don't want to
month
go
in
to
Austria too.
I don't want to
Yeah.
go to a foreign country to be in a movie and then not come back and just kind of disappear. No, that didn't work for me.
Yeah, you know, Eric, for somebody that is really into the missing 411, you put yourself into these situations.
No, actually, I did. And I'm
Where I'm
still
like,
here.
huh, weird. He
So,
just disappeared.
we've been talking about the bloodsuckers. Who's encountered an energy vamp? I expect
Oh,
Nikki
yeah.
to... I figured Nikki would raise her hand at least.
Oh yeah.
I don't like.
Experienced a lot of them.
What's an energy
Bastards,
vamp?
So,
too.
energy vamps, you've got good energy vamps, you've got bad energy vamps. Good energy
Oh, God, no
vamps
kidding.
basically just feed off the excess energy of a crowd.
So high school.
You won't even know it.
Oh.
Yeah, like high school.
Right. Oh, yeah, that too.
Definitely.
Bad energy vamps.
Right?
Okay, so have
Yes.
you ever met someone and you just walk away feeling completely drained and you need a nap? And
Don't fucking look at me like that, John.
First wife.
they're energy suckers. They're you're a battery.
Damn.
Humans are batteries, and they
Yep.
literally suck your energy.
And to be perfectly honest, the best example of that cinematically would seriously be the Death Eaters in Harry Potter.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Izzy's gonna slap the shit out of you.
Yeah,
Right.
The Who?
Oh wow, I did that wrong.
Yeah.
My brain is fucked. I'm sorry. No, not the Death Eaters.
Oh, I'm telling you, friend.
I can't remember their names right now.
Yeah.
The prisoner, the Azkaban people, the
ones that suck the.
Oh, the death. Oh, yeah. You're talking the.
Why can't I think of their names? Holy crap!
They're the ones
Dementors.
Dementors. There we
Dementors.
go.
That might have you suffer.
Not the
Yeah.
Death Eaters.
That was
the Dementors.
that was very enjoyable
Wow.
for me watching you suffer for a
Shut up! That was crazy. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
But-
but you were projecting. So I was seeing
Right?
what you meant.
Right? Oh, so I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's a perfect example of an energy
Yep.
vamp.
Right, someone that actually feeds off of your energy and
That's
uses it to
energy.
power themselves.
Not really. The chick I was talking to didn't look anything like that.
She was a Bogart.
And like I said, a good energy vamp, they're just feeding off the excess.
Does
Yep.
the energy vamp have
Especially
this,
in a
like
crowd.
the same weaknesses as a regular vampire, or like are they?
No,
energy vamp?
they're human.
No.
They're human.
They're
just-
basically
They
human.
don't have fangs. They don't have. You couldn't tell energy vamp by looking at them.
If you whip garlic at their head, they're probably going to say, ow.
Yeah.
Ah,
Friend, but
Hey, garlic! I needed to go buy some.
Was a narcissist.
Yeah. Oh.
Prime example of an energy vampire is a narcissist.
Yeah.
God damn it. I have been an energy vampire this whole time, and nobody told me.
John, would you like an explanation of what a narcissist is?
I know what that is.
Donald Trump.
I have a picture somewhere in my
No,
photo
literally.
gallery of.
Friend,
It's a reminder.
I had to be saved from an energy vamp at the fair. Remember that?
Which time?
You and Izzy had to pull me back, and Izzy took over the conversation.
Yep. Yep.
Right.
Yep. They're everywhere, and some of them don't even know they're doing it. Honestly, you've got
true.
some that don't know they're energy vamps. They exude and they pull your energy out.
Karen, would a Karen be an energy vamp though?
Yeah.
Yeah, they could.
Definitely.
Energy out.
Look at me! I'm going to complain about you. Where's your manager? Yeah.
Well, I think there's a difference between people that suck the energy out of a room and people that suck the happiness out of a room.
Well,
Oh, there's very much, yeah.
there's those too, but I still consider them as
Self-righteous.
I consider them as a type.
A type.
A type of
Maybe like an
energy vamp.
offshoot of an energy vamp. They're just like happiness suckers.
Yeah, you guys are using all kinds of words that aren't the same ones as I'm thinking for a Karen.
Yeah.
Okay. What's a Karen to you?
A cunt.
Oh, truth.
Oh. Okay.
Do you notice that the Australian is nodding along with me? Like,
Do you have Karens in Australia?
Yeah.
They have kangaroos.
Yeah.
There's Karens, there's Bogans.
What do you call
there's
a
actually
Karen?
a woman that's called the lesbian vampire killer. She grew up here in this town that I'm in, of Rockhampton.
Lovely.
Yeah, Tracy Avril Wigington.
Oh, good for you.
Wigington, born
Great
4th
name.
of August 1965, known as the lesbian vampire killer. She grew up here, Australian coastal city, Rockhampton. She was adopted at the age of 3 by her wealthy maternal grandparents, George and Avril Wigington, after her mother could no longer care for her following a divorce. Wigington, who allegedly killed and drank the blood of animals, had been planning for some time to escalate to murdering a man so that she could feed on him. On the night of the murder, Wigington, then aged 24, Lisa, I can't remember her name, Ptaschinsky, Patinsky, age 24, and Kim Jervis, age 23, and Tracy Wall had been out drinking and then drove around in Wigington's Holden Commodore in search of a victim. At the time, Wigington stood 183 or 6 feet tall and weighed 95 kilos or 209 pounds. Edward Bladlock, 47, he was the victim. A council worker and a father of 4 was waiting for a taxi after drinking heavily and playing darts with friends. Jervis persuaded him into their car and they drove into a park at the banks of the Brisbane River. It is disputed whether Wigington got Baldock in the car by offering him a lift or pretending to be a sex worker. He undressed while Wigington returned to the car to retrieve a knife. She then stabbed him 27 times, nearly severing his head before drinking his
That's
blood.
a waste, but that's a waste of blood. 27 times? Don't you want the blood?
And that would then be a second person in nearly hit this category.
Huh. She licked the blood up. And it sounds like your birds are calling you. I hear
Yeah,
birds
they are.
all over the background.
I can put myself on mute though.
Oh, no, hell
I
no.
like the bird noise.
I like the bird noises.
It's like
Got
we're
the
the
rainbow lyrics keeps going.
Australian birds.
I miss birds. Cold cousin.
And we got
Birds
the key.
birds aren't real.
Oh, you miss birds, do you?
Stop.
How you gonna kill these ones, Kayla?
I got a bird hunter.
So do I.
Birds aren't real. Other than Australia. Australia, they're real, there's not real here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, did you hear there's
And there's one of the
scientists have mixed technology with birds, like officially. They put chips inside their brain when they were like little babies, and now they can control them. It's a little game. It's hilarious.
Who's this?
Just some scientists. I don't know where they're from, but they did it with a moth earlier. They
A
just
moth?
yes, a giant moth. I can't. It's a big one.
Huh.
Yeah, they put when it was a larva, they put a chip inside its brain, let it cocoon, and
Get
it
used to it.
built into its system. And then when it fully grew up, they were able to control it with a little control, and made it fly around. Some people say it's ethically not right, but science.
But science.
Yeah, that's ethically not right.
Oh yeah.
I don't think they know what ethics are, to be honest with you, half the
Moth
time.
to the Kremlin.
Ethics, what's that? So yeah, in Atlanta, I know for a fact there's a whole group of, or I don't know what you call a group of. What would you call it? It wouldn't be a coven because witches are covens. What would you call a gaggle of vampires?
Oh, good God.
Maybe it's a gaggle
Nightmare.
of vampires.
A blood clot.
Oh! Hey, I like that. Okay, so there was a blood clot of vampires in Atlanta. They actually occupied the entire region of Atlanta. That's
nasty.
This is a technical term.
Sorry.
Well, I'm going with it. I like blood clot of vampires.
Oh my God.
It makes sense. Hey, I have a joke. What's a vampire snack? A blood clot. Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Oh wow.
Damn.
Oh yeah. Okay. I can hear the squeak, 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 squeak. I was doing it too. Yeah, if
Bloody
you're
mess.
not in the chat room then on Discord, then you're just missing out on half the fun of the show.
Yeah, this is science.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Rick, where did you go?
Sorry.
Oh, damn. Oh, that would be a creepy twist. Because he gives it out to kids all the time in ads.
Yeah.
He lets them drink it.
Well, yeah.
They're all vampires.
They're making.
Breaks into the room, says, "Oh yeah!"
They're making kindergarten vampire blood clot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kindergarten vampire blood clots. There we go. Oh wait, I
Sorry,
said
Eric, you were reading something.
Huh? I wasn't reading anything. Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, I know where that's from.
Yep.
That's actually a really good movie.
So,
Oh yeah, Ready Player One.
a big comedy denominator with serial killers obviously is killing using either gunshots or stabbing. A lot of them stab.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any connection with serial killers and vampires? It's a stretch, but I just want to throw it out there.
Yep, Jack the Ripper was a vampire.
Shut the fuck up. Jesus Christ.
Wait, that actually kind of makes sense.
No,
it doesn't.
Actually, that is one thing. So, obviously, there's a theory with Jack the Ripper that he was a former surgeon or a current surgeon based on the cuts and shit.
Nah, he was a butcher.
He was royalty.
Or a butcher.
And a baker. And a candlestick
Yeah.
And a doctor.
Right?
The royals could always afford to get rid of that. He was never caught because, or she.
He was actually Queen Mary.
That actually makes sense.
That would be.
just like Shakespeare.
Then why does he kill?
Or a royal of any variety. Any
Right.
of because you get away with it.
From
Again,
the castle.
Yeah.
Had the wherewithal and the money to hide,
Any of the aristocrats would have gotten away with it.
Right?
Yeah.
Count Jacula.
Even the detectives would have hidden that if they were paid enough.
Really? Kayla?
What?
Count Jacula?
I mean, the royal...
Somebody was going to comment.
Oh,
The royal castle would have hidden it if it was one of theirs.
yeah. It's like the U.S. government.
Huh?
It's like the U.S. government. If they
Well, it depends. You got whistleblowers that would have outed them.
They used to be able to hide things. They're not that good at it anymore.
No,
Right?
not even
So
a
is the
little bit.
elevator a vampire in The Shining?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Absolutely.
going to go with that.
It only appears at night. It's full of blood.
Red rum.
That, you know, a doctor would be the best job for a vampire.
A doctor?
Yes, because
Yeah. Why do you think the Colons are doctors?
like when they're asleep, you could just.
Dirt to dirt.
I don't know.
You could just what?
Like drink their blood when they're out cold. Or like go into those blood.
A what?
Oh my god.
Oh, yes. He's correct. No, he's right.
He is right.
He's
He is
dead
right.
on.
OBGYN.
Feeding.
What's that?
Gynecologist.
Oh, you're turning red, John. All the blood is rushing to your face.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Oh, gross.
Oh.
God, just
Why do you think they need to pull 9 vials of blood for
I mixed up. I didn't hear it, dude.
I don't want to hear these specific things.
Who said what?
I think we're still stuck at OBGYN.
Oh.
Crotch sniffer.
So, do you guys know a vampire's favorite tea brand? Tampax.
Lipton's.
No, it's Tampax.
Do you know what Tampax is? You know, periods?
Yeah, I know about that.
Yeah, Tampax is what they use for pads. Tampon. Yeah,
You need the string for the tea.
right.
Alright.
This is the worst sex ed class in the history of mankind.
I think it's the best one. I like personally, I think we should look at this.
Oh, Mr. Bean is a doctor. Yeah, that's fucking scary.
Hey, if Pornhub can do it, we can do it.
There you go.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Got to make sure they have the machine that goes bing.
Oh. Dark.
oh dear God.
No, she's laughing too much. I can't ask her a question.
Yeah, you can't.
She can't talk. So, what's your vampiric knowledge, Nikki?
Oh dear God. Okay. Well, a lot of it's already been talked about, but then again, there's also the issue of certain ETs that are extremely pale, very human-esque. Some folks would consider them vampiric, other folks would not. They're not around humans, that much I know. For the rest of that one, you gotta talk to our Keith Andrews about it.
Right.
But I do know that they're in existence. I do know that they're real.
Do you remember the name of them?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember what the race is called, or species, or whatever. I do know, yeah, there's all different sources of energy vampires. Oh my God. So many different levels of energy vampires. And it's exactly what you guys talked about. They come in all different kinds of personalities and all human, and oh my God, they'll suck you dry of your energy and before you'd even recognize what's happening. Yes, they can be like a quote-unquote Karen, or the epitome of. A lot of just exactly what you talked about. A lot of them do not even know that they're doing it, and then there are others that are very freaking aware that they're doing it and do it deliberately. Excuse me. Which is incredibly frustrating. I've come across many folks that are energy vampires that they just not a clue. I mean, way far over their head. They don't have a freaking clue that they're an energy vampire.
I've encountered energy vamps in Seattle, actually.
Now, would a succubus and an incubus be considered a type of vampiric creature?
I think it's still in the category of demon.
Yeah, they usually
You can consider them a form, but not in what we're talking about. Okay.
Because I mean, they feed off of the sexual energy, which is a form of
energy. But they're considered
right.
They're considered more demons. They're considered part of Lilith's children, actually. Succubi. It depends on who you talk to. No, absolutely.
Okay, no, I was just because I know that there's different types of energy vampires,
right?
That feed off of different types of energy. So I was just wondering if that would actually fall into the category of an energy vamp, or if that would be its own subcategory.
I would say so on that regard. Yeah, I would say so. Energy
I've always
is energy.
kind of considered them a form of an energy vampire,
right?
But I know other people that have dealt with them more often. I've only dealt with a female. What is that? A succubus? I always get them mixed up. Succubus versus incubus. But I've only dealt with one of them once. Pain in the freaking butt to deal with. It was a female. That was going after both a male and a female.
Oh, okay.
Human. And it was just wicked. Okay, hang on a second. 1 second, guys.
Power outage and see the
that will help the throat. So they can... it's very specific kind of energy that they go after. And it can get really... excuse me, sorry. It can get really nasty.
Okay, so
dealing with them.
A succubus is a female demon that has sex with sleeping men, and the incubus is the one that goes after women.
Supposedly, I did not know until I dealt with this one that went after both male and female.
Okay.
That blew me out of the water. I mean, I was like, why? I was like, okay. Excuse me, so, and it wasn't happy that I was dealing with it, let me put it that way. But we got that situation taken care of. Sorry, a ton of different things going through my head at this second. So there are numerous different forms of demons. There are numerous different forms of jinn that can fall into the category of an energy vamp. And you just never know what kind you get until you are dealing with it at the time.
Right, just like emotional vampires.
Yeah, I mean, humans are an emotional vampire. I mean, and you have to be aware. And once you're aware and become aware that you are yanking on somebody's energy, okay, that's going to come out the wrong way. But once you realize and recognize that you are pulling on somebody else's energy and you're literally sucking from them, and that's the wrong way to say it, but it really clarifies exactly what is being done to the person.
Right,
you're
absolutely.
Literally pulling their energy, and you can pull it from their... it's like pulling on their chakras. You can pull it from every aspect of them. It can actually wipe them out of their electrolytes. It can wipe them out of even their protein levels. I mean, you can truly screw with somebody's metabolic state.
You can, but honestly...
As an energy vampire.
Honestly, I think it takes a lot. And maybe more than one interaction with the same person to actually... Well, it depends on their strength.
Yeah, I was going to say it completely depends on their strength and how well they are at drawing the person in. So I've known individuals who are really good at business, really good at sales, and they draw you in and they keep you talking and talking, or they keep you listening. I've come across those folks as not everybody falls in this category, but I've come across folks that are in that field that are really good as energy vampires. Not everybody is. If you're very aware the more you become emotionally aware, the more you become, you've gone into counseling and you're dealing with your own emotions. You learn about boundaries and you put a kind of like a bubble around yourself. You have more of a tendency to become aware that, oh, this is what I was doing, this is how I've been, let's change it. If a person does not become aware, then they can suck you dry. And it's like somebody trying to get off the phone with another person who just wants to keep yapping away and they don't know how to shut up. And
So,
you can say, well, I'm sorry, I need to go.
So I have a
work
strange question here, just food
Yeah.
for thought for people. But okay, if vampires were real, so they're considered the undead, right?
Yes.
They rise from the dead. Then would a necromancer be able to control a vampire?
I don't think so.
Yeah, because they're...
What do you think? Oh, what were you saying, Nikki?
Technically, they can.
You think so?
Technically, if you've got somebody who has been a very proficient necromancer, and I mean very proficient, doing it for damn near most of their life, you can have somebody doing it, yeah. Because it's a form of controlling
But
the dead, and technically
but I
they
guess
would be dead.
My only argument with that is I don't see the vampire as being human. It depends on the type, and we're talking bloodsuckers only here anyway.
Yeah.
But it depends on the bloodline. If he's the top of the bloodline, I don't see him being controlled by a necromancer. The ones that just drink the blood of the leader to become vamp, sure, they're a little bit.
You're dealing with a very specific form of magic.
Right.
You're dealing with very, very specific, ancient, old school. I mean, like really ancient, really dark, really old school type of magic. I don't know what else to call it.
Right. No,
there are many different versions.
And if you can have an occultist that can conjure a demon and control a demon, then I guess you could have a necromancer that can control a vampire at the same time. So,
I'm going to tell you something. I dealt with a necromancer who had been a necromancer 600 lifetimes. 600 lifetimes.
right.
Putting her down was no easy task. I had to have over 15 hierarchies agree to the fact that I and somebody else were going to put her down as a soul. She was not living. Okay? That is something we have a really hard time even discussing this because I learned so much because of this specific individual. The kind of things that she was able to control were frightening. She could not just conjure demons or jinn. She could conjure anything. You have a soul that reincarnates and becomes a necromancer in every lifetime, or nearly every lifetime. You got a problem. You got a real hardcore, serious problem. And somebody with that kind of experience that basically, for the lack of a better terminology at this second, reincarnates, regenerates over and over and over again.
Right.
They have an ability to be able to master necromancy. And to be able to control exponentially. It is frightening what they can control. The other side doesn't like it when a soul does this kind of thing. The fact that I even came across her shocked the living you-know-what out of me. I mean, I was floored by what I learned. So yes, they can, in my opinion, based on what I have witnessed, And what this soul was capable of doing in her life, in her last lifetime, and she hadn't been living since the 1600s, so she decided to remain as a soul on the other side from the point that she had died, which was in the 1600s, till, God, what year was it? 2021, somewhere around there. When she's no longer in existence, and the other side made sure that I had a great deal of help making sure she was no longer living as a soul. That just boggled my mind. So, yes, in answer to your question, Eric, there are occasions where a necromancer can control damn near everything. And it's terrifying.
Again, not arguing with you, but you're dealing with a very you're dealing with a very rare, maybe not rare, but a very unique situation.
Yeah,
but I do think your general level 1, if you want to call him level 1 necromancer, ain't gonna be able to control shit.
No. I agree with
just
that.
like the beginner occultist that decides he's going to conjure a demon, ain't going to be able to control that demon. But you do have, like Aleister Crowley, you've got some of the I think Aleister is maybe a bad example, but he did conjure demons and was able to control them. But you're playing with fire when you fuck around with entities that are actually stronger than you.
Yes. They can kill you in the blink of an eye.
Absolutely.
Not even.
Absolutely.
I almost died because of a true demon. So they're not something. I'm going to be blunt. They're not something to fuck with, man. I kid you not.
Nope.
It's very horrifying to what they can do, and it takes a fraction of an amount of fear. You do not ever show fear in your gut, in your soul, in every cell of your being. You never show fear to a demon. They have you. If you do, you're dead.
Now,
not joking.
In my research on vampires and vampiric-like creatures, I came across a lot of mythical creatures from different countries. Okay. Yeah. There was one from the Philippines, and correct me, I'm going to butcher this name.
Right,
completely.
just like the Chang Si I found in China.
So it's called a Anagelaya. And
just call it manatees.
It's a mythical creature in the Philippines that's able to separate like its upper torso from the lower part of its body, and they have fangs and wings, and they drink blood. They would be considered in the Philippines as part of the Filipino Fae culture.
So it sounds like the Pendengao out of Malaysia. Very similar. The Pendengao attacks pregnant women and children and babies, and can detach it. It actually detaches its head.
Right, and it still has all of its
right.
Yes.
It detaches its head to chase its prey, which is pregnant women and babies.
Now, this one also feeds primarily off of pregnant women.
Yeah.
So there's some kind of a connect there.
They call it the Pendengao in Malaysia.
Yeah, it's basically the same creature, but the Filipino version of.
And they could kill it by taking chopped up glass and putting it in the body, to where when the head comes back and reattaches to the body, it's got all this glass inside it.
Now, actually, this was something that really interested me, and that's why I really looked into this one. Was the way that they got rid of it was that this creature kind of has a form of OCD. Okay. So they would throw rice kernels at it because it couldn't help but stop and count them. Because it had to count every one of them. Okay, and actually looking into it,
Right.
that is where the count off of Sesame Street got
Ooh.
the
Count.
his count, his numbers and everything else was
Interesting.
based off of this mythological creature. So I thought that was really cool.
Well, isn't that a fairy thing where you throw rice
So-
or anything down on the floor and they have to count?
That's what's interesting is the comparison. If you want to, and the thing with the Fey realm is the Fey realm has been compared to off-worlders, aliens and whatnot, and it's been compared to vampires because when you have shape-shifting vampires that can turn into bats or beautiful women. Look at the sirens that can turn into beautiful women and lure men into drown them. There's a lot of comparisons between some of the Fey legends and vampiric legends.
Well, there's a lot of comparisons in the Fey realm with most every other form of mythological creature that we have.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, so in China is the Changxi, which only walks at night, transforms into a long white-haired creature, and I think I stopped my research with that. But, that's the first creature I actually found that only walks at night.
Right.
Which, you look at today's folklore, vampires only come out at night, blah, blah, blah. And so, yeah. Now, we do have a vampiric line here in Mount Vernon. We did years ago. Before I joined the Army, I heard about there were vampires here in Mount Vernon. And, there's a big... Huh?
Explain.
I
love how she says that.
can't because this was back in 1989 and I joined the Army. I was gone. But yeah, there was a group of them here in Mount Vernon that went out and killed at night.
4 men.
That sounds about right. The leader's name was Howie.
Howie the vampire?
Mm-hmm. Not Howie Mandel.
You'd think he'd come up with a better fucking name. Jesus Christ.
That's his name.
I don't give a shit. You rename yourself.
You're an immortal vampire.
I'm Howie.
That really brings fear to everyone.
But yeah, the 4 men sounds for actually back then it was 4 18-somethings back in 1990. So today that'd be whatever.
Now, I did also find something else that intrigued me a little bit, and it was
Can't talk about it on here.
the crosses, and why vampires actually have an aversion to crosses. Has nothing to do with the actual religion or anything like that.
It has to do with the state.
No, actually,
I like by medium rare.
it has to do with their visual spectrum. Okay?
Uh-huh.
So, because they have unique retina, okay, which causes vertical and horizontal cross-wiring, they have an aversion to right angles. And if they're overloaded with right angles, then it can cause seizures and death in the vampires.
Uh-huh. Hey,
Wow.
he's even got teeth like mine. Yeah.
Alright.
Howie.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
Howie.
So basically, if we just hold a TV in front of them from like the 40s or 50s, the old school TVs, and just mess with the vertical and horizontal on it, and
Right, like they were saying that
Rick?
even something
I
as
don't
simple
know.
as
You
a window
got to
pane.
lift one of those.
Oh.
For like,
just have a 100-foot extension cord running around trying to carry about a 500-pound TV.
yeah.
Right.
Ooh, stay away from me.
Connected to a tailgater generator.
No, but supposedly because they were originally creatures of the forest and all this jazz, and they see in this visual spectrum.
Right.
Right angles in nature don't happen as often as they do in human structure. So they just were not used to the right angles in their visual spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why they can't get driver's licenses.
No, that's why they can't have nice things.
Now, whether or not that's true, I have no idea.
Or nachos.
But I just thought that was kind of a cool little quip as to something that might be a reason why they hate crosses that doesn't have something to do with demonology. You know?
Yeah. It just reminds me of a case we had, God, when we first, 2014, 2013, I get a phone call from a kid that was at Devil's Tower, conjuring demons.
Nice.
And he goes, "Is this Forest Move Paranormal?" Like, yeah. "How do you put a demon back?" Like, are you fucking serious?
You ask it nicely. You ask it nicely. That's all you got to do.
Not exactly.
So what exactly did you do? Well, we're up at Devil's Tower and we were conjuring a demon and it came.
Or you just
Like, well, no fucking shit, huh?
Or you can just weird it out enough.
How
that
do we
will
put
wanna
it
leave.
back? It's gonna follow me home. It's trying to kill us. Like, oh, good
Weird
luck,
the demon.
kid.
You think
No.
you can out
You think you can out-weird
You
a
do
demon.
stupid
yes.
things, you get stupid prizes. Bye-bye. Click.
So, whoa. I'm interested
Blah,
in
blah,
this,
blah.
John.
Yeah,
So what did you say?
just out weird them.
Out-weird a demon.
Make them so awkward and weird that they want to leave.
Boy, you would die.
Okay.
Invite them into your mind and go, oh, is that why I conjured you?
He's done that to us at the fire.
Yeah, where we all just left because we were like, no, this kid.
If I could do it with a group of adults, I could do it with a demon.
Wait, was that when you were talking about putting on a suit of armor and eating hot dogs?
Ah,
Yeah.
let's not talk about that.
Okay.
That was middle school.
My wiener.
A true demon wouldn't show up to something like that. It's beneath them.
Right.
What he conjured was, just an FYI, what he conjured was a wannabe.
Yep.
Wannabe can be
Oh, no,
2,000.
but
A
wannabes
true
can
demon
be just
is
as
well over many millennia old.
right, and they can be just as much of an asshole
Yes, very much.
and scare the fuck
They
out of
can
a
do
kid.
all sorts of things because they're a wannabe demon is continuously learning
Mhm.
and practicing to become a true demon.
Yeah.
And they can spend thousands of years before they get to the end of where they want to be, which is what a true
But
True
I'm
demon is-
going to tell you, and I've said this before, that's why I think any paranormal investigative team should always learn signs and symbols. Because you walk into
Yes.
a location and you see a true conjuring location, you might want to know what the fuck you're walking into.
I
That's
have a
right.
question.
What?
So, with the whole paranormal thing and demons, I do see a lot of people trying to conjure them on like YouTube, all types of other
Yeah,
platforms.
they're stupid.
Yeah, but people use these things called Ouija boards.
Right.
Yeah.
I heard this once, but I don't know if it's true. Don't you have to close it after you're done?
Yeah, you have to say goodbye,
Correct.
and you have to actually
because
close the
I constantly see people using them, but never say
You
like
also
goodbye.
have to put it away, or your
close
dad
it.
will whoop your ass.
Uh-huh.
Hey, so
Understand if you don't have usually.
Yeah, you need to close.
So if you just tinker with it and you're just fucking around with it, you might have something come up, but you probably won't.
So I have a question for the panel about vampires. Okay. Now, just
Nikki's
this is
biting
a little freaking awkward. So just like hear
No, I
me
don't.
out for a second, okay?
I don't like Ouija boards. For
Right.
very reason.
We'll talk
Anyway,
about that in a minute.
So when I was looking up different information on vampires, something came across that I thought was kind of interesting, and I wanted your opinions on it. Is Peter Pan a vampire? Okay? Because, and the explanation that they gave for it was that he flies, he's basically immortal, He's got a gaggle of people that he takes into his inner realm, and then they become immortal as well. And he cannot see his shadow.
Wait,
Yes, he can. Otherwise, he couldn't catch it.
Yeah.
He did catch it. Therefore, he can see it.
And we don't actually know if the kids are immortal, because there is a theory that the kids grow up and become the pirates, and it's a constant cycle.
Right.
What you're describing too could be the Pharaoh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm wondering is, in your opinions, do you think Peter Pan
No,
is
he's
a
a
vampire?
reaper.
Nope.
He's a reaper.
He's a reaper.
Of souls.
Okay, a reaper actually would make more sense for Peter Pan than a vampire.
And then Tinkerbell is like his little helper.
Administrative assistant, get it right.
Office man.
Do you care to chime in? You're standing around watching. Do you care to chime in?
Is it Tinkerbell? Tinkerbell's gonna chime in.
No, they're just gonna watch. All right.
Oh, okay.
God, you're standing right here. Why don't you just say something? Sorry, I got somebody with the Fae over here, and
Tell them to leave my house alone.
I'm just very frustrated.
Seriously.
Here, you're
Okay.
listening to
I've
this.
got fairies
Why don't
messing
you
with my house, and they're about to get smacked
Tell
down.
him to stop scratching my husband in the middle of the night and to leave our forest
That's
alone.
pixies.
Oh, man.
The pixies are worse.
Okay. I
What?
have good experiences. I know other people have bad experiences.
Oh, pixies are a pain in the ass.
Pesky pixie pescadilly.
Really? You remember that, but not what a fucking Dementor is. Jesus.
I know, it's horrible. Okay.
So, energy vamps, you will find a lot in pagan pride, pagan circles in general. You'll find they're awful. They go everywhere, but they like balls.
Can I ask you a question?
What?
If you shove a charging cord up their ass, can you charge your phone on them?
I want to try,
Brian.
and we'll call it probing.
Would it work though? Like
No, John, no.
the right electrical outlet, it might fry your phone.
Boy, don't go to school and.
I'm very scared for your first girlfriend.
Wrong. Yeah.
Hold on a second. I just want to plug this in.
I'm gonna probe you now. Yeah.
Wow, bro. Wow.
Yeah. Don't do it. Just don't do it. You might get in trouble.
You're definitely your father's son.
Yeah, but you like it. I want to hear about this.
She does.
This is going too
Careful
weird
what
for
you
me.
ask.
This is going terribly.
Things you know.
Oh,
I don't want to know this.
That's what my son would have said. I don't want to know this. Oh my God, that's funny.
Friend.
Got really quiet.
Oh, I was just reliving, John. I know your pain because my parents. I'm 30, and some family friends, essentially an aunt and uncle to me. They come in to visit, so they're all 4 of them sitting around talking, and they start talking about going to watch Deep Throat at a movie theater there in Houston.
Oh my God.
So my mom, my aunt, and my uncle, and now my dad are talking about going to see a porn in a theater, and
It had to have
things you
been in
never
Texas.
need to know ever.
Watch out for sticky seats.
Oh my God!
Hey,
It's the
hey,
only
that's
time
Mom
I
and
walk
Dad!
into a conversation.
What the hell?
I just
Yeah.
I want to know that.
How did Mom and Dad get on the screen?
That's information you never
Let
want
me
to
tell
know.
you about how you were conceived. No.
I don't.
Rick, you've been to the bonfires. You know what we talk about there.
Whoa!
Oh my!
Oh, Kayla!
boy, you said,
What?
oh boy.
That is not okay! No!
No.
Bad monkey!
What would be even scarier? Oh my God, what's Mom and Dad doing on Pornhub?
I told you, be careful what you search for.
Oh, as long as it wasn't with the dog.
It's on another level of weird.
Oh, no, boy.
Yeah.
You have no idea what
Says the kid who asked last week if dogs really like peanut butter.
I was actually just wondering. I didn't know if it was true or not. It just can't. I just
Which
thought
part
of it.
of it?
I just thought of it at a weird time during a weird conversation.
What are you talking about in your room? I don't want to know.
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay, so vampires.
I don't think they like peanut butter.
Porn, so we can always look at that.
They can't have vampires.
Vampires.
Can vampires have sun butter?
What?
What?
No.
What did
Can
you ask?
vampires what?
Can have sun butter.
Sun butter?
Yeah.
You know that stuff you have to have because you're allergic to nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friend.
And the sun? Oh, wait.
I'm pretty sure
And
that there are
mirrors.
probably vampires
Wait,
that are...
let's analyze Kayla for a second.
No, let's not.
Doesn't like the sun.
Oh yeah, is
She's
allergic
not a
to
big fan of garlic.
allergic to the sun.
Okay.
Not a big
Doesn't
fan
like
of garlic.
mirrors.
I don't like mirrors. I am
So you're
allergic
an
to the
alien
sun.
vampire.
That does not make me a vampire.
Is this why you asked about
Like
Ghost of
mirrors?
Mars?
Oh,
Yeah,
Nikki.
It's a whole big problem.
It's a very long story.
It's not. You know the when
What's
like
the
you watch
summary?
those. You know they watch those videos where someone will be looking in the mirror and then the reflection looks away. She is so terrified of that happening.
Yeah, like our whole living room once had a ton of mirrors in it. We got them all torn down like 2 days after we bought the house.
Honestly,
wait.
I do not have a mirror in my house.
Yeah, we
Okay.
do.
I do now because Kimberly does her makeup and everything. So I finally went out and bought a little mirror to go in the
Bathroom?
bathroom.
Wait,
But
Do you put a hand towel over the mirror?
sometimes. Yeah. But I have never liked reflections. It has nothing to do with just mirrors in general. It's reflections in general.
Yeah.
So I have
Comes from a past lifetime.
I have a huge issue with reflections.
My favorite
You know
part
that-
is the fact that her mom's house has 2 mirrors. They are 4 feet by 3 feet.
Oh my
No,
god!
but
I
wait.
know.
And they're facing each other.
Yeah.
But wait, her mom's house is a whole fucking room of goddamn porcelain dolls that all look at you.
Porcelain dolls
In
and
between the
mirrors.
mirrors.
Yeah, it's a. I was terrified of that room for so long
Oh, I don't blame you.
because
Annabelle comes to mind.
there used to be like 50 more dolls in there because
Remember the one Aunt Donnie bought that she kept moving on you guys?
Oh,
that was horrible. There was this like 4-foot doll that she just kept on moving around the house. And she just moved it around at night too. So we kept. One time we saw it just being dragged. Horrible.
By the mirror.
Yeah. She moved it around in that room.
Friends, reason why I was asking about the mirrors was because I've had friends who have had hardcore freaking paranormal coming out of the mirrors. Portals actually out of within the mirrors themselves.
Right.
And they had animals that would sit and watch. Sit off to the side of the mirrors and watch and make noises as items were going by, and the person is a psychic medium, and they're like, yeah, we're shutting this down. Just going out of the house. You know, but they do have other mirrors, but it was a mirror it was a very large mirror that was given to them, and they were like, nope, we're done.
Well,
We're
you
done.
know, There's actually a movie called Oculus that came out probably about
That's
2
right.
years ago,
Yep.
and it was about a possessed mirror. It caused the two kids. It's the gal that plays Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy. I think she was in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's her and her brother, and they're trying to find a way to get rid of this mirror once and for all. And of course, you get the backstory of how the mom went crazy and shot herself, and the dad went crazy and he sent him away. I guess I think that's what happened.
That was
But yeah,
Amityville.
it was a really good movie. It's a really good movie. But yeah, mirrors,
No,
creepy.
Amityville, they used the axe, I think.
See, and for me, it's honestly, it's just an irrational fear because it's any reflective surfaces. It's not just mirrors for me. So if it's a window and it's dark out and you can see your reflection in it, if it's a spoon and the back of it you can see your reflection in it, stuff like that. Hey, I used to have some really awkward fears when I was a child, where I would only eat and drink out of plasticware because of the reflective qualities of the glass and the spoons and the forks and different things like that. So I've always had, since I can remember, I don't do reflections. I can't handle reflections.
Did you
Make it fun.
do you remember any of your previous lifetimes?
No. I gotta be honest, I barely remember this one. So, my memory is shot.
With things that
I'm picking up something where you got, I want to say, pulled into a mirror or drawn. It's from another lifetime, but I can't place it. But that's what I'm picking up. There's something that's gotten you so deeply terrified. I can't tell if it's. It feels like a different lifetime.
And you'll find that a lot of your fears today do stem from past lives.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I have one to where I can't wear turtlenecks because it's items around it's anything around my neck. I can't wear.
That's from when you got hung.
Choker jewelry, necklaces because
You were hung in a past life.
Yeah, I was hung. I was hung in a past lifetime, and to this day,
Past life.
and it was many freaking lifetimes ago. So many lifetimes ago that I'm like, why is this still even an issue?
They stick
but
with your
it
soul.
still is.
with things that my mom is terrified of, how do you all feel about contortionists?
Stop it.
Not a fan.
Yeah.
Oh, I love contortionists.
Except for when they're upside down crawling on your ceiling. That's kind of...
Yeah.
Still not a problem. I don't mind that.
I recently
No, as long as they don't mind dusting while they're up there.
I've had beings actually crawl on my ceiling. Well, not my ceiling, but I was in a hospital with my mom, and I walked into my mom's room after talking to a nurse out in the hallway, and I walk in, and I see this black thing cross from one corner really fast, one corner of her room, up over her bed, and it went off to my right. And I spun around so fast, and I went, oh no, I had a lot to say. And yeah, you talk about things, creepy, crawly things that crawled over the ceiling and down, and I watched it crawl over the ceiling, down onto the wall, down onto the floor, and then slither from a walking, crawling type of, and it was one of the creepiest things I've ever seen.
That sounds like an imp.
And needless to say, yeah, it didn't stay for very long. It took care of it. But, yeah. That's always fun, seeing a creepy crawly
Yeah.
that's solid black.
Scattering around your...
Those are called spiders. And
This
I may have hit one with a box fan today that I was cleaning. I may have reacted just a little bit.
Honey, this was 7 feet long.
Oh,
That's
so
a little different.
that was a camel spider.
Australian spider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's an Australian spider.
I bet Robert's got those in Australia.
Yeah, probably got one under his bed.
It's on fire. So yes, and
No, that's even worse because we talked about that last week. Come on,
I know
you don't catch those on fire because then they jump on you and you're on fire.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and a spider's on you.
And they're gonna go for your beard. My beard doesn't need to catch fire.
I like how Rick is
flaming
just
beard,
like, I don't give a shit about being on fire, but the spider's on me. Hi, Paula.
I don't need a flaming beard.
Cole said hi.
Anything good in there?
Not likely.
No.
She wants to get out. There's a ball game tomorrow at 6.
Tomorrow night?
We've got doctor's appointments all day, and then we've got to go to Anacortes and hop a ferry on Friday and spend the night on Lopez Island. So,
Good luck with the ferry.
Cool.
Hey.
The floating boat kind.
You gonna visit the creamery?
Oh, I've been there. She's got her kids live out there, so.
I like that place.
I want to go to take it or leave it. I love that stupid place. Just people bring their crap, and it's like going to a swap meet without having to actually pay for anything. So Paula doesn't like it too much because I wind up a bunch of stuff in her store.
Right.
Back onto vampires. I have a quick question.
What? What's the question?
Because I've heard many stories of vampires living in hordes and some living just singularly by themselves.
Clots.
Clots?
Yeah, it's a blood clot of vampires.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, is that a different type of vampire, or are they basically the same, or is it like a different tier?
I think it would be more like a lion pride, okay? Where,
Good analogy.
like, sometimes they're all together and they do their thing, they hunt together, the survival of the whole pride. Where sometimes they're a solitary creature.
Yeah.
And I do like I do believe you've got your head vampire that probably lives with his family and has nothing to do with the little group. I think Lost Boys was a good analogy of the hierarchy.
Well, I mean, okay, so just like with people, or any animal in the animal kingdom, you got solitary people, you got people that like being in groups, that can't function without a grouping. So, honestly, I think that would be more of a psychological thing.
So there's actually many terms for a group of vampires.
Yeah.
The most popular one is a coven.
Yeah.
Really?
It's a coven.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh. The second most popular is a nest, then a
Third is
siege,
family salesman.
a siege, a wake.
A hive.
But I think if we try, we can popularize blood clot.
Oh, absolutely. We need to get the hell away from Coven, because Coven is my world. I'm not a vampire.
Yeah.
You say.
We should make
Yeah.
like merch.
We should make merch. Okay.
Well, I'm not scared of blood.
Be aware of the.
I just don't drink it.
Fear the blood clot! Blah, 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 blah. The silent killer! Oh, sorry.
Other words are a clutch, a brood, a pack, or a clan.
A clan.
A clam?
Clan.
Clan.
Oh, a clam.
You know, like
Clam,
the
sea
clan?
creature that
Yeah.
you eat.
Get your clam of
Clan
vampires.
sounds better than coven because
Yeah.
coven is witches. I never think of anything but witches covens. So
Yeah.
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 That's why I
Clan would
cringed
be-
with it. I cringed at that one. Yeah, I have heard it as a coven of vampires, but no.
So siege is the one I like because it embodies the warlike animalism that some vampires are sure to have.
No, I prefer blood clot.
Right, well, yeah.
Yeah.
And didn't vampires somewhat become more popular with Vlad the Impaler?
There are people that believe that Vlad the Impaler was the
Original?
no, that he was the inspiration for Dracula.
For Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Right. Because, I'm not sure if Vlad drank the blood. I think
Yes.
he did.
Yes, he did.
He was
creepy.
known for cutting the head off his enemies and putting them on stakes out in the battlefield.
But if you To be honest, if you put that many impaled people on your property,
You have to drink the blood.
Because the
That'd be a waste of
water
blood.
is already contaminated with it.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
Well,
Plus, he was said to have been iron deficient, so
yes.
Yeah.
just regaining the iron back into his system by drinking blood.
Well, isn't there a woman, Lady Beth Leroy? I think I'm saying that wrong, but that bathed in blood.
Yes.
She would have virgins brought in, and she'd kill them, and they'd drain the blood, put it in their bath, and she'd bathe in their blood.
Yes, because
Bathory?
she believed
It makes-
that
Bathory.
she believed that it would
She was a Hungarian serial killer.
It makes her more useful.
more youthful
Yep.
to bathe in the blood.
Well, it kind of does, but yeah. that's-
Well, okay, so another thing, when I was looking up vampires and all kinds of stuff, there's this story out of Mexico,
Okay.
okay? And it's about a tiny little village in Mexico. And it was in the early 1800s. And there was a cave, like this whole cave system in Mexico. And this little boy used to love running up into the hills and looking in the caves and exploring them and everything.
Right.
And these groupings of people, these villages, were so far away from everything else that they were like in their own little world. Okay? So he was going up one day to explore this cave, and he saw lights coming out of a different cave. So he was like, well, there's never any, like, fires or anything in the caves. So he
Right.
went to go check it out, and in the cave he saw horrible blood everywhere and screaming and all kinds of stuff. So he ran, and he kept running for, like, I think it was something like 40-something miles to the nearest constable station.
Okay.
And he told the police force that there were vampires in this cave and they were eating each other. Well, of course, they thought it was all fake and were like, hey, kid, you know, there's no such thing, all of this stuff. So he finally convinced this one cop to go with him to the cave and check it out. Well, they never came back again.
Oh, damn.
So
They got eaten.
Yeah.
the police force decided to call in the army to go and check these cave systems to try to figure out where the cop went.
Right.
And when they got there, the boy was dead, the police officer was dead, and they had had their hearts ripped out.
Damn.
And there were chalices of blood all over the place. And it turns out that this woman had convinced this entire other village that she was actually an Incan god. And she would have blood sacrifices in this cave system, and then drink their blood to become eternally youthful and all this stuff. And the people of the village were so scared that she was a real god and that she was going to destroy their families and, like, cause plague and everything else,
it was group
that they actually did the killings of their own family members and stuff to appease this Incan goddess.
Right.
But I thought that was a weird, like, true story of blood drinking
And
from group paranoia.
and group paranoia and hysteria. Absolutely.
And there's a fun fact that I know that I just thought of.
Yeah.
It takes around 360 adult humans to make a iron longsword out of their blood.
A what?
An iron longsword. It takes 360 humans drained of their blood to make an iron longsword.
You're the one that's been doing cattle mutilations, aren't you?
I plead the fifth.
No, he's right.
Yes, I am.
I know.
Yeah,
That's why
it's a pretty cool fact.
You're killing cows.
That really makes me wonder if any of Vlad the Impaler's swords were actually forged of human blood.
That would actually be a really cool thing to have. Just
Probably not. He drank all of it.
the sword of human sacrifice.
You can be the next cult leader.
I'm going to tell you, one of the people that you want to look into regarding Vlad the Impaler This is a woman who is a direct descendant of him, living descendant right now. She's a psychic medium.
Oh, damn.
Her name is Danielle, spelled with 2 L's. Diva. Her last name, she goes by Danielle Diva, but her last name is Borozan, B-O-R-O-Z-A-N.
You already found her?
Yeah, she's on
Cole already found
Saturday
her.
and Sundays on Spaced Out Radio. And she's done 2 or 3 really good episodes with both Spaced Out Radio and a couple of other shows.
Probably coast to coast.
About Blad the Impaler, and really phenomenal information, and it jives with everything that I know. I'm like, wow, okay. And then she gives some really good quality information about him. So if you really want to look up more info on him, check her out, because she has done the extensive family research.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Really, really good info. I highly recommend it.
Okay.
Anyway.
So let's discuss, how do you protect yourself from energy vamps? Because, I mean, the chance of you actually meeting a bloodsucker is, well, I won't say slim to nil, but
Very slim.
it is very slim.
But an energy vamp,
But
you
an
can run
energy vamp,
into
they're all
on a
around
daily
you.
basis.
Again, I compare it to paranormal investigation. I honestly do. It's the same protective technique with grounding and shielding. And I would even throw a black tourmaline in there for good measure.
Yep.
With what I'm hearing,
And black and shunganite.
aren't energy vamps just normal humans? But
They
just so
Yeah.
couldn't. So pepper spray would work, or just a ton of axe. Be like a middle.
So, John.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use pepper spray on someone that you think is a energy vamp, because you might go to jail for assault.
So taser.
No.
Oh. Well, if you tase them long
Just
enough,
walk
they'll
away.
just fall.
Just walk
then.
away. No.
Okay. The legal issue with this is you always defuse this situation. If you've got somebody that you've got that is refuses to, I mean, there's a difference between diffusing the situation and an attack. So you've got to be really freaking careful here when we're talking about this, especially with what John was just talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
You've got to know what you're dealing with. I mean, if you've got somebody who just will not shut the freak up, turn
Walk
around
away.
and walk away. Just you say, I'm in the process. I'm sorry, I need to leave, and turn around and walk away. I mean, if they are that invasive,
The legal
with
system is not going to take your side when you tell them you were
Well,
being
they were
drained
draining
by
my
an
energy.
energy
Yeah.
vampire.
So
they're not
when
going
it comes to that, you turn around,
They don't believe it
defuse the
half the
situation,
time.
and you turn around and you walk away.
Okay, now
Okay,
Or you
there
get
are
rid of all
those
the
kind of
evidence.
things.
we were talking. I'm sorry.
Dealing with something totally different
Yeah.
regarding what he's talking about versus the
absolutely.
energy vampire stuff. So, yeah, and you got to be really careful.
Now, when we were talking about grounding and shielding and protection stones and different things like this, okay? What if you can't ground and shield? What if it's impossible for you to ground and shield?
Oh, yeah.
Use a stone.
Yeah, you can use a stone. You can call on other people for help.
Yeah.
You can call on your ancient family. You can call on your spirit guides.
Plus, you're probably just doing it wrong. Hook the jumper cables up to something different.
There are a lot of different ways. Hell, for that matter, if you've got folks that are on your phone and you're really proficient at doing an emergency 911 to your family, not to 911, but to your family, going, I'm in trouble, I need help, this is, and you can shorthand it without, oh, I'm sorry, I got a phone call coming in and I'm going to put it on mute, and you were literally texting, the information, then that can be there are numerous different ways, but you have to be consciously aware. You have to be consciously aware. If you're just often doing your own thing and you got a situation that you got to be careful. You've got to force yourself to be aware.
That's an amazing article Robert just posted from NBC News calling them energy vampires.
I can actually tell you how you can do it. Music.
Yeah.
No, music does. But
honestly, if you pull your mind back inside and just focus.
Music.
Yes, I do.
But you can shield yourself with it as well.
Yes.
You can pull that music back onto yourself to actually cover your body just like any other shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I gotta be perfectly honest. I've done all the grounding and shielding work. I've done workshops and grounding and shielding, everything else. I can honestly say I have never actually been able to do it. Okay? I don't know what the hell it is, but I have like a disconnect there. I cannot do it. I've tried hundreds of different ways to do this, and it is impossible for me to do.
What is like the most proficient way to ground and shield?
So the most proficient, the most effective is to take your shoes and socks off, go walk in the grass, and basically envision your feet making roots into the soil, and going from your head into the ground as a white light, and pushing all your energy down into the earth.
Okay.
And then pulling that same earth energy back up from your feet all the way to the top of your head.
You might better luck thinking of it completely as roots.
Oh yeah.
You're planting roots into the earth, and that's what's actually grounding you.
You feed all your negative energy down in through the roots into the ground. And then you imagine a tree-like bark covering your skin.
Yeah. And then as far as the... Go ahead.
Kayla, I've got a question for you. Are you able to pull energy to you?
Only
In
from
other
her husband.
words, are you able to pull earth energy or space energy, such as cold, freezing cold air, or earth energy, such as nature? Are you able to pull that towards you?
No.
Okay, not through your feet, not through the palms of your hands?
Nope.
Oh, there's a fear there. Usually when someone of your ability there's a blockage.
You could always
That
try
means
throat
there's
singing.
a blockage, and you got to figure out what the blockage is.
I could what?
Try throat singing.
No.
What is throat singing?
Throat singing is a type of native song.
And going to, or like you said, Cole, going to a powwow might actually even help.
Yep.
I don't know.
Maybe. It's a possibility.
Now, as far as the shielding
Okay,
goes,
not a power for you. Maybe a clan meeting. I don't know.
Hey now.
oh, I'm
No,
glad
okay,
you touched that one.
and to be
oh,
perfectly
is that a vampire clan you're talking about?
I honestly think I
Decline.
probably am an energy vampire, because the only type of energy that I can pull is
Mine.
from other people.
Alright.
No, and that's what I said. I can pull energy from other people, but not from naturistic
As they
things.
say, she sucks me dry.
Oh, yeah. And I did see
So
you
you
on
got
Pornhub.
own very own
Anyway,
energy.
So as far as the shielding goes, real quick, because we have like 15 minutes left.
Oh, damn.
16.
16 minutes left.
Get it right.
Sorry.
God damn it.
Yeah, so there's different methods that some people use a brick wall. I don't like the brick wall. Bricks can be shattered a lot easier than the bubble.
I don't know. When I throw someone against the brick wall, they shatter.
Yeah.
Whenever I touch a bubble, it
this
kind
reality.
of pops.
But you basically close your eyes and you picture a bubble of white light or a bubble of energy or a bubble of blue light, whichever you prefer, and you push it out around you. And, I've talked to so many people over the years, they think, I could just do this one time and I'm good. No, this is something you need to work on, like at least once a week. If you're actually a paranormal investigator and on a team, you might want to do this like after every investigation you go on. Or however many times a week you want to do it. Some people need to do it every day. But yeah, there you go. I like that analogy. You're walking in a bubble. And if you get really proficient at it, some people actually make traps.
Yeah. You can also reflect back too.
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
I like mirrors that are facing out windows.
Yep.
Nope.
Nope.
What?
They're facing out windows. They're
No, what you do is you picture that you're completely surrounded by a bubble, and the mirrors are literally, there's nothing. You can make it black, you can make it silver when it's facing towards you, but the mirror is on the outside. And they can be just like a mirror ball, like a mirrored disco ball.
Honestly, I'm surprised.
Back.
I'm surprised you don't hear more issues coming out of carnivals from the House of Mirrors.
Oh, that is the most terrifying place in the entire world. Okay.
No, it's not.
Oh,
coming
God.
to your park on the 4th of July.
Freaking mirror house.
So in Seaside, Oregon, there is this little place beside the taffy shop that has a whole bunch of mirrors that are all distorted.
Oh yeah,
we had so much fun in there.
Yeah, it was great.
I got to see what I looked like at 3 feet. It was awesome.
Huh?
You actually went in?
Yeah. Didn't you, Mom?
No, not that time.
Yeah, you did. You came in for 3 seconds.
You went in.
I wanted to show you the one that I was looking at.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I rode a tiny horse.
Yes, you did ride a tiny horse.
It was hilarious.
Okay.
It was tiny.
A tiny horse?
Yes.
Yeah, I actually think we got pictures of that.
Yeah, you on a tiny horse.
Nope, only of Hunter and Luke.
Was it only Hunter and Luke we got them?
Yeah.
All right. So what's any last comments about vampires as we're coming to a close?
Most of them are pretty weird looking.
Vampires or tiny horses?
Vampires. Because
Okay.
most of the time I see bald guys with giant front teeth. It's weird.
You got something to get bald people?
No, it's just...
You want to have a talk with Grandpa? Huh?
He's not completely bald. He has that weird rim.
So do they. Most of them do too.
So it's like Voldemort with long teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And since there's... I do have a question. Since they're undead, do their fingernails and hair still grow?
Okay, so with what I sent you to research this week was Nosferatu.
Yes.
That is why he had such long fingernails, is because that was a myth back then, that your fingernails still grew after you died.
Is that actually true?
No.
Oh.
No, actually what ends up happening is when your body atrophies after death, it makes it look like your fingernails are longer.
Because your skin retracts.
Because your skin retracts. Yeah.
Yep.
Neat.
So it makes it look like it does, but
It's not.
doesn't. It's not that growing, it's your skin retracting.
Ah. Yep. I see.
And then, back then, they didn't have embalming fluid
Yeah.
and stuff, so it was natural retraction.
Yeah. They just had maple.
And after death, okay, this sounds graphic and terrible, but after death, not only does your skin detract, but if you do not release all the blood from the system,
right,
it will also cause you to bloat and it will cause you to release that blood out of your mouth, nose, and ears.
And all other orifices.
And gases.
Yeah.
Not just your blood, but the gas is built up inside you.
Exactly. So when they opened up a coffin back then, because they thought it was a vampire, this person had longer looking teeth, longer looking fingernails, and they would have blood traces on their mouth. So they were like, oh my god, it was a vampire, and that's why. But it's actually natural occurrences of what happens after death.
And oh my god, there's so many vampires. The whole village is vampires. Look, all the coffins are...
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that explains why the Egyptians had such big crypts, the pyramids, and they opened them up.
Right?
I don't even want to know what one of those bowls smelled like.
Oh god.
The psychotic, no, not psychotic, but the big jars, yeah.
Right.
So,
Well,
next week
I
I
do
would
have-
like... Oh,
what?
go ahead, Rick.
I just, because this is my one little bit of research for the week, I actually investigated our vampire friends that live over in Forks. Specifically,
No
why it
way.
is- why it is they sparkle. According to the official wiki, this is from the author, their skin is flawless and textured with a marble-like substance, much harder and stronger than granite. Due to the crystalline properties of their cells when a vampire is exposed to sunlight, their body will sparkle like diamonds. So, there's your answer.
But
Interesting.
does it specify that all of them sparkles?
Are they all sparkly
Like
boys?
everything?
Well, I guess,
I
because
didn't
know
read
the
that
skin.
far into it. Do that
Right.
much research? No.
Do they have a sparkly butthole is what I'm asking.
Yes, they probably do.
Wait,
Okay, Nikki?
Bend over and throw it to the sun.
Do vampires still need to use the bathroom?
What?
No, they're vampires. They don't need to use
Yeah,
the
but they
bathroom.
drink blood. So where does all the excess go?
They pee it out in ammonia form.
No, it's absolutely not.
Like, do they still gotta...
It's absorbed into their bloodstream.
They piss out.
Okay.
So, next week, what do we have on the agenda for
So
next week?
week I would like to talk the existence and research of starships.
Starships.
We are getting into an age and era where we are actually building ships that can go beyond
Our...
not only our own planet, but our own actual solar system now.
Yeah.
So we're looking at future technology.
Future
And also
tech-
because of what week it is.
When they're not blowing up vans on
Yeah.
takeoff.
Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Tomorrow officially
definitely
starts
want
Star
our
Wars
Keith.
week.
Yeah. Next
We
week
definitely
is...
want our Keith for this conversation
Oh, yeah.
because he knows a great deal about
It'll be May the
propulsion
4th,
and different
May.
ships and
May 4th.
Yeah, for sure.
all sorts. Ooh, I need a
Ooh, I
blanket.
got 2 days. Sweet.
Ooh,
That's a great series.
I didn't actually think about that one. Okay.
What? Need a blade?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a really good freaking series that
Yeah.
Laurel K. Hamilton
Hamilton.
makes. Right.
And then there's also the Fae version, which is Mary Gentry.
Yep.
Yeah.
So with the next week's topic, starships, can we also talk about planetary starships?
Yes.
Like, are you talking like Werner von Braun and the
Uh,
NASA experiments, or
More,
you're talking
more like
about
Moonfall. The
the what?
Moonfall.
Moonfall. Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Like
so you're
ours.
talking Dyson spheres and all that
So
jazz.
Yeah.
future technology
Okay.
is in space.
Yeah.
Future.
Well,
And where
no.
we actually believe we'll head.
Where do you think
Oh, I
we're
was-
going?
Well, that would exclude Star Wars ships, wouldn't it? Because they're in a galaxy far, far away and
Yeah.
way.
They were
behind.
they were contracted. They were contracted on Earth. Don't worry about it.
That's why they had so
Yeah.
many design flaws.
And this is the main reason.
Best looking Enterprise. That
This
needs
is-
to come up.
This is
Which
the
one
main
of the
reason
Enterprises is best.
I believe I am a Sith. Because those goddamn rebels blew up a starship with millions of contractors on it. Those pricks.
Same with the Death
Innocent people with families.
That's same with the Death Star. Both
That's what I'm
times.
talking about.
Uh huh. I know. There's like a whole bunch of construction workers going, why?
and they're killing a bunch of droids.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. The droid phenomenon.
Which they have
watched Clerks too many times.
Well,
Yeah.
Plus, I like the
Oh,
fact
he's
that
got his lightsaber.
Oh, you got his lightsaber!
Oh, he's got 2 of them now.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, 3 of them.
Brent,
He's ready.
Give me a blaster any day of the week.
Okay, Chewie.
Oh, funny, you'd want to use what I was using at one
See,
point.
Star Wars even had their own Bigfoot.
Yeah,
that's all right.
buggers.
they had a whole race of them. They had Smallfoot and Bigfoot.
Smallfoot. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
The Ewoks.
Ewoks.
Yep.
Smallfoots.
No,
They were Auroras.
Littlefoot.
The Ewoks.
Littlefoot.
Oh yeah, because
On the
humans
forest
are
moon of
Smallfoot.
Endor.
Fucking Ewok.
Oh, come on. They're cute. They're just tribbles grown up.
Yeah, but they're horrifying creatures once they go to war.
Supposed to be, they were
Especially
supposed
when
to be
they play,
Wookiees.
Right?
they
They're
play with the helmets.
Yeah, they used them to
Luke
dig up
wanted
the
them to
rebels'
make
graves.
plays.
right.
Yeah, because Ewoks are actually, if you go into the lore, they're pretty horrifying creatures. Because once this stormtroopers tried to take over their encampment, so they just tortured them for days and days and days, and made them dig their own graves with helmets, and it
and
was
made cute little sounds while they did it. It was awesome.
yeah,
Cuatro mimi chapa. Oh.
yeah.
Speaking of Vlad the Impaler, if you watch the end of Return of the Jedi, what do you see? The stormtrooper helmets are all on pikes, all
Yep.
over the place.
Yeah.
What do you
Absolutely.
think happened to the bodies?
They ate them.
There you go.
Oh, absolutely. Because you think about the way they carried Han and
Yep.
like all of them
Exactly.
in, they were definitely going to eat them.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Or sacrifice them to the beast gods.
yeah. Sacrifice them to their little god, so they don't have to do a blood sacrifice.
But to be fair, I saw the plants on the moon of Endor, and it didn't look that appetizing. So,
That's because it was filmed in the Northwest. Like, come on.
sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we will see you next week. Thank you for listening. That was a fun show, guys.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely interesting.
I like the vampires.
Blah blah blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
All right, everybody, you have a good night. Have a good week. May the 4th be with you. And don't forget about the next day, Revenge of the 5th.
And we are out in
Night.
5, 4,
Blah, blah,
3,
blah.
2, 1.
Data transfer complete. System malfunction. Please evacuate immediately. Program terminated.
Son of a biscuit eater.